Hello, everybody. This is Linda DeVitas, owner and founder of healingsonthego.com. I'm a host of Healings on the Go, psychic clairvoyant medium. I'm an author of my book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, certified Reiki healer, magnified healer, crystal healer, professional space clearer, dolphin healer, candle manifestation, and a whole lot more. To visit me, go to healingsonthego.com where you can see all my services. I would like to introduce my special guest today. She's a holistic chiropractor, Dr. Ronit, to the show.
Hi,
Yay!
Linda.
Welcome. How are
Thank
you
you.
today?
I'm great.
So please introduce yourself.
So I'm Dr. Ronit Balan. Like you said, I'm a holistic chiropractor in Bayside, New York. And my passion is just really helping people find different solutions to health problems, really getting to the root cause of a problem and not just masking it with, medication or, things like analgesics, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. And I would like everyone to hear my story, how I met Dr. Ronit. I say it wrong, right?
Ronit, no, you got it.
Ronit, okay. So I went through a lifetime, which feels like very young age, chronic vertigo. And me and my twin sister, actually, I suffered the worst. I had a hard time crossing the street and I struggled with just basic things where people just like, oh, I'm going to walk a few blocks, and it started getting worse. So back then, when I was in my 20s, I used to go to the ear doctor, and she told me, okay, I have a chiropractor for you. So I said, okay, good. She's like, trust me, she'll heal you. I was like, okay, thank God. So I was thinking. So back then I could at least walk to there. So this lady came and she started pounding on my ear, the way she was positioning my head. And then I was like, oh God, I said, I pray this works. So from going to walking, I couldn't even cross. It like she messed me up completely. So and then I had to take a taxi to my house. I was taking cabs from the city to Bayside. And then, oh boy, it was just horrible. I had to lay down. I was scared to even get up off the bed. I had to do ear exercises, which were the worst because I would see everything spinning. So I had a very big fear. And back then, I started slacking off, I have to say. I was scared to do the exercises because they would make me feel sometimes worse. So I had my dear friend Vanessa. She's the one that drives me to school because I couldn't take the bus. You know how there's a big gap from my house to the bus? And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm going to walk through that. So she was telling me, and she said, I have the perfect doctor for you. I was like, okay. I kept procrastinating because I had a very big fear that if I do anything, I said now I could at least take my daughter to like the doctors or like walk. But if anything gets worse, then I don't know how I'm going to survive. So she kept telling me, no, she's going to help you there. I was like, okay, good. And I was so happy that you weren't only using my head, like, spinning it like she did. Oh my God. She gave me such a fear. I just was scared to seek any help. I thought that maybe it'll just naturally go away somehow. But
Yes.
unfortunately, it didn't. And so, can you tell me, and other people watching, is vertigo just the ear, or is it like a combination of the neck? Can it be both, or?
Absolutely. So, and your story is so wonderful because you went through so much, and just hearing it again, I feel your frustration and how your life was so limited in what you could do and what you couldn't do. So my approach is I look at the spine and the nervous system. So the nervous system and the brain and the spine all work together. The first bone in the neck really affects the ear, and it causes vertigo and dizziness. It could cause other symptoms in other people. Some people suffer with anxiety when that bone is misaligned. Other people can suffer from high blood pressure. So when you came in, remember we analyzed you. We did a computerized thermal scan
Yes.
to see where your misalignments were. I also palpated your spine to see where I felt the bones out of position. We sent you for x-rays,
Yes.
and the x-rays showed that there should be a certain angle of the first bone, and you did not have that angle,
Wow.
nor did you have the proper curve of your neck. So that's putting pressure on your brainstem as well as the spinal cord.
Wow. No
And
wonder.
so I understand your fear too, because many times when patients come in, they're afraid of either having seen it on TV or now YouTube or even Instagram and Twitter, all these, videos of chiropractors taking people's necks or backs and cracking them and making all these sounds.
Insane.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. And everybody's an individual, everybody is very different. So in my office, everything is tailored to that individual. So with you, having known your fear, and because of the vertigo, I wasn't going to take your head and neck and rotate it or, turn it a certain way. So with you, we use instruments. We use an instrument that helps to relax the muscles. And then we use an instrument, it's called the adjuster, and that helps to put the bone back into its proper position.
Wow.
But also what you do at home, right? I put the bone in place. What keeps it there are the exercises you do at home. And those are traction exercises that I taught you to do in the office. And now you have your own traction unit at home that you do every day.
Yes, thank God for you. I swear, she's a lifesaver, and my God, thank God I met you, really, because I'm like, I'm not gonna cry during the show, but I really, really suffered. And hello, Anne, by the way. Welcome, welcome. Please do like and share. My sister also, like, I kind of fast forwarded the story, but my sister, when I was younger, she thought it was fun to spin me around and drop us on her head. So, and then I started feeling it, like something was off. I didn't even, I'm sure she didn't realize it, but we were just a big mess. My God. And I
Well,
just
Linda,
kept,
what you were saying too, people don't realize. And when I take a history on a patient, I always like to find out, has there been any kind of trauma? Whether it's, a major trauma, it could be a car accident, it could be a fall, it could be a sibling, you're wrestling and, you do it so long. And when you're kids, you don't feel anything. You can pop right up and,
yes.
you don't feel anything. But over time, that bone is out of place. And then the symptoms come later.
Right. They sure do. Yeah. I remember even after the vaccine, I think the vaccine too was the worst. After I took the, which one was it? Johnson and Johnson, the one shot, everything became worse. And I think that probably was not even that. Maybe it was something extra. And I was scared to get off the bed. I remember I was grabbing my twin. I go, hold me, something's going to happen to me. She goes, do you feel sick? I said, no, everything's spinning. I'm so scared. And then she's like, and I heard other people getting vertigo from that shot, but I was like, my God. And they never even experienced it before. It took me 5 months to get better after the vaccine. And then I went back to what I would feel like. Walking was always a challenge. Everyone said, how was your day? I said, if I feel balanced, it was a great day for me. It's the little
Absolutely.
things that people, don't realize. But also, I wanted to talk about other stuff. Like, I had everything. I had anxiety. I had panic attacks. I probably had a high blood pressure too, with all the fear I went through. So, what else can you get, like when you're misaligned in the neck?
So every level of the spine is connected to every cell, tissue, and organ in our body. So, for example, with the first bone in the neck, like we talked about, it could affect your immune system. It could affect hormones, blood pressure, how you sleep or don't sleep. And as you move down the spine, so, the lower part of the neck can affect thyroid conditions. The mid back can affect breathing. So I help a lot of people with allergies and asthma. Um,
My
as you
daughter,
go,
thank you.
yeah, as you go lower in the spine, the low back, that can affect how you go to the bathroom. Either you're going too much, you're going too little, whether it's urinating or bowel movements. It can affect women's menstrual cycles. So, I've helped women who have been unable to conceive. And again, I just want to stress that it's not me. I know you say I'm a lifesaver, but
You
I'm
are.
just removing the interference from your body, and your body is healing itself because our
You're-
bodies were designed to do that, right? You can heal from a pimple, you can heal from a cut. If you get a cut, we put stuff on it to make our kids feel better. Neosporin, a Band-Aid. You don't need all that stuff. You're going to get new skin anyway.
Wow. See, I'm so happy. You make your presence is like you make someone feel safe. They can have the worst thing, but I know when I see you that everything's going to be okay. You give me such comfort. And
Thank you.
I know I'm going to say it later, but I really highly recommend you because you don't know, like just wearing a mask and crying behind it, knowing that I can't walk well was really hard. But
Yeah, I can only imagine.
anyways, yeah. So anyway, it was really a nightmare. But the good thing is, everyone tells me they're like, "But you do healings too," and I said, "Yeah, I do, but I can't put my bones back together." So I remember I was like, because I do healing candles, and what I do is I pray for people. So I'm like, let me do one because I do everyone else. Might as well do one for myself. And so I started praying. I said, please, God, just get rid of this vertigo. Because if I can't get better, I can't help people. So I'll never forget. All of a sudden, the next day, everyone's sending me like videos of, vertigo. And then after that, Vanessa kept pushing me. And she's like, because at first I'm like, but I feel okay today. She goes, Linda, just get it checked. I'm like, but I'm scared. What if it gets worse? So anyway, thank God that, and what makes me feel better is you are a doctor and you just don't go, because that lady that I went to, she never took x-rays. She never did any of that stuff. She just started banging on my head. I'm like, what is she doing? And the way she was moving my head. So anyway, the good thing is she does all of that. And the great thing is with the the thermo, that you can see so many other things that you can help too.
And we just did yours over, remember, after the first month or two of care, and you saw the changes, how the numbers got better. And so the thermal scan is graded based on mild, moderate, or severe pressure. And in the first bone on your neck, yours was severe. It was 7.1. And now it's still severe, but it's 2 point something, I think it went down to.
Yes, I have it in my bag. Awesome, because I do. When I walk, I feel more straight. And my husband's like, maybe you should stop. I said, hell no. I go, I will not stop. I will go forever.
Well, we're going to get you to a point. We're going to take x-rays again. We're going to see the changes on the x-ray. You won't be coming as often, but like anything else, maintenance is very important. So true. I try to tell people, if you go to the gym, you want to lose weight. If you stop going to the gym, you're going to put that weight back on. Same thing with Weight Watchers or any of the, diet plans out there. If you're watching and then you stop, you're going to put that weight back on. So, you maintain your spine just like we maintain our teeth. Not at the same rate right now, because right now we're still in the, basically acute corrective phase of care, but you'll get to the point where we'll be in maintenance.
Awesome. Yes, I definitely do believe that, because you can't just stop when everything's starting to fall in place, and I wouldn't either. I went through too much to go backwards.
Absolutely. And, people get confused with feeling good and functioning well, So you could feel good, but inside you're not functioning at 100%. So with the adjustments, I'm helping people to be able to function at 100%.
That's excellent. And now my back too. There were many times when I was working at my old job where I was working for a horrible person that I was only like 90 pounds, used to make me carry 90 pounds and bring it to other offices. And I had pulled my back a few times. And I remember the doctor told me, he said, if you want to have kids, you better stop picking up stuff. So that's how I did mess up my back. And I think I have to be very careful of what I lift. I remember the other chiropractor years ago told me that. He said, be careful, because they thought I had a slip disc. I don't think so, right? I don't think I do.
So we wouldn't know. You don't know about slip discs, herniated discs, they're called, unless you did an MRI, which we haven't done on you, because your back hasn't been bad to that point. We've been taking care of your back as well, but, that's the only way you can really tell.
Oh, okay. Because I figured if I did have one, I'd probably be in a lot of pain. I used to be, but not anymore. I used to be to the point I couldn't get up off the bed. I was in such pain. And then I went to the city. This chiropractor adjusted me 3 times. I was supposed to follow up, but I never did. but I don't feel that anymore. I just feel like the exercises where you twist is when I mess it up.
Yeah. Well, bending and turning is really the number one way people hurt their backs.
Mm. And is there a special way you should pick up stuff?
Well, you should, try to bend, from your legs as opposed to your back, and get close to the object. Always like check it first to see, is it heavy or is it not so heavy? Because sometimes we lift things up thinking that, they're heavy and it's light, and we can arch our backs that way just as easily as lifting something heavy. You want to get close to it, you want to lift it up, and then you want to turn almost like a robot, like very slow movements.
See, that's what I would do. Everything wrong. I used to just grab it and like.
Well, you're not the only one. And, how you sleep, how you get in and out of the car, how we carry groceries can all have an effect on our back and spine.
Wow, that's crazy. I wanted to ask you also about certain people. They were telling me go and get it lasered, but I don't feel that that would be the right way. First of all, when I looked it up for the crystals in the ear, they said that you would have to stay in the hospital for a few days. I said, no way. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I don't think so. I think aligning the neck is better than that.
So, with vertigo, there's many different kinds of vertigo. There's peripheral vertigo. That's the most common. That's from the inner ear, being affected by head movements. And again, by that first bone in the neck. Central vertigo could be caused by something with the brain or spinal cord, something more severe, like a stroke, a tumor, or an infection. So of course, you always want to rule those things out before we start to deal with the actual spine. And then there's even a psychogenic vertigo, and that could be caused by stress and anxiety.
Yes, that's right. I remember one time I was really stressed, and then I really felt it.
Yeah, of course. But think about it. When we're really stressed, our muscles get very tight, and that can also pull the bones out of position. Wow. So it goes back again to the spine. I'm not saying that's the only type of, treatment out there. I know people that have been helped with acupuncture. I know people that, Meniere's is another type of disease that can cause vertigo. So that has to be ruled out. And if you do have Meniere's, that's a buildup of fluid. And, you may benefit from watching your salt intake. So, diet also really affects a lot of things in our body, especially inflammation. Remember, we did the saliva test with you.
Yes. I remember the ear doctor. She told me no coffee, but I usually have decaf. And then she said no salt and no drinking. I really don't, because I'm already on a dizzy sink. So I never had that one.
But even when you cut those things out, for you, it was more than that, right? It wasn't just what you were eating.
I think back then I used to have too much salt, but it was more of the turning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, well, thank God that, it's being fixed. And I read on certain foods. Do you recommend any foods for vertigo? I heard almonds are good.
Really? I mean, just with the Meniere's, maybe, a lower sodium diet, but, of course, like with you, we just checked your saliva level, right? Yeah. Because if people are acidic, they're going to be more inflamed. And if there's inflammation and fluid in the body, depending on where it is, it's going to affect different things. So that's something I like to do with my patients. We do it with strips at home, and you check the number, and that can make a world of difference by just making yourself more alkaline by drinking water with lemon and cucumber, and making sure you're eating more, green leafy vegetables to bring that acidity down. Because everything that tastes really good, like the meat, the cheeses, the pastas, that's all acidic stuff.
Oh, yeah. Thank God I cut down a lot of that.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everyone. Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic clairvoyant medium and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in with my special guest, Dr. Ronet. I hope I said it right. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. I just wanted to ask also with blood pressure. I know sometimes it's, of course, what we eat and everything, but that's also a misalignment on the neck. And is it on the back or just the neck?
The first bone in the neck usually affects blood pressure. I also like to talk to patients about certain supplements that are good for blood pressure as well. And I've had patients get off blood pressure medication between the adjustments and the supplements. So, our bodies really can heal themselves.
Yes, you're awesome. Because I honestly, everyone tells me go for blood work, but I'm such a big chicken and I hate blood work.
Well, I think our society is very focused on blood, right? Like, what's your cholesterol? What's your blood pressure?
Yes.
And those things are important. And I do look at those numbers with patients. But I also think that these days they've been changing a lot of the numbers. So, like, the cholesterol numbers have been changed. So everybody's cholesterol is high. Blood pressure numbers have been changed. So everybody has high blood pressure. And then the only thing that's prescribed is medication. I read a quote recently that said that if your doctor is not talking to you about what you're eating, how you're sleeping, what you're thinking, if you're moving, exercising, then they're not really doing their full job. And they're really just being like a drug dealer. They're just giving you drugs.
It's true. And most of them cause Alzheimer's and,
side effects. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
That's horrible. Yeah, well, thank God, because my sister's like, you have to follow up and go once a year. Yeah, I know that, but getting there is just stressful for me.
Yeah.
I do have to go one day.
It is. It is important. One of the things that I tell people to also look at on their blood work is their vitamin D levels, because you should be in the 80s. And if you're not, it's very important, especially these days, to boost our immune system. Vitamin D will also affect your hormones. It'll affect a lot of things in the body. So it's very important that be checked.
I remember when my hair started shedding a lot and the doctor told me stay on prenatal vitamins. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of things in the prenatals that help with hair, and vitamin E and biotin and all those different things. So we just cannot get everything that we need in our bodies from the food we eat, because these days, the soil is depleted, the food is over processed. So, you can't eat, 60 oranges to get the vitamin C that you need. You need to take supplements for that.
That's true.
But you have to be careful what supplements you take also. You can't just go to CVS and get a vitamin C. You really want to get a good brand vitamin C, because otherwise you might not be able to absorb all of it.
Wow. I heard B12 is good for vertigo, that if you're low on it, you'll get very dizzy.
Well, B12 is a very important vitamin for the nervous system in general. See, it always comes back to the nervous system. And, most people that might be listening or will watch this are going to think, oh, she's only focused on one thing. But, that is my passion. And that is what I've been trained to do. If you look at when our bodies develop in utero, the first thing that develops is the brain and the spinal cord, the nervous system.
That's
and
right.
That affects everything else. So that's why I focus in on it so much.
Well, that's good. It's true. Everything's a misalignment of that. So, wow. Is there any vitamins you recommend that people should take every day?
I think everybody should be on a good multivitamin. I think that vitamin D is very important. Zinc, right now, we're getting into allergy season. Zinc helps a lot with allergies. I think fish oils are also important. And then it depends. Like, with people with high blood pressure, CoQ10 helps a lot.
Oh, wow. You know what's weird? My sister had me taking fish oil and I took 1,000 milligrams, but I noticed that whenever I would take it, the next day I would feel completely drained, like as if I was low on something. And I was so tired. So I stopped taking it and I bought 500, like a lesser dose. And then that didn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. When you go to the vitamin store or you get vitamins, on Amazon, you look at the label and it'll say the serving size, but that might not be the serving size for you. It
Right.
might be the serving size for your sister, and for the next person, it might be double that amount. So, that needs to be checked out as well. And we do that in the office.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. And you don't know, I want everyone to know, like, you don't just crack people, you do other things, like
Yes.
with
So,
right. Yeah.
So the cracking is really not even your bones breaking or cracking. It's gas that's being released between
Oh,
the
wow.
joints. But like with you, I only use instruments to adjust you, so we don't hear any of that stuff anyway. But yes, in addition to adjusting, I like to take a look at people's lifestyles. What are they eating? How are they sleeping? Because if I'm fixing the first bone in your neck and you're doing this all day on the phone, or you're sleeping on your stomach, your head's this way one time, your head's that way the next time, that's all going to affect it, right? We took a look at your pillow. I
Yeah.
had you bring your pillows in. We took a look at your pillows. Sometimes I'll have people take a picture of their work desk to see, if the computer is too low, you're going to be looking down all the time too. You want it higher to look up. So we also do the curve correction, which is the traction in the office. And then we take x-rays and I take measurements before and after the treatment. We also take a look at people's hips. If one side's higher than the other, we have ways of correcting that as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Because I used to, so like I said, and I think that happened because of the lighting. You're right. I went to a store on Saturday and I felt good, but the lighting must have threw me off completely. And my husband's like, look down and look at the tag, like what size is it? Because he couldn't see well. And then I'm like, now you just really messed me up. So I was like holding on for my life. But you're right. Looking down too long is gonna affect me. And before, not now, before when I used to look up, I would even want to move my head. I would like stretch my eyes up because I felt like I was off then too. Isn't
Because
that
your bone was so out of place that
wow?
when you went back, it made it more stuck.
Yes. Oh my God. I was a big mess.
Our bones are supposed to move in 6 different directions.
Wow.
So, it could maybe move forward, but not move back, or it could move to the right, but not move to the left. And those are all things that we check in the office.
Wow. Well, thank God I've been able to look up and down. But you're right, the lighting does play a big role because I didn't even realize it till you told me. And it was that white, bright in your eyes that makes you
The
feel like,
fluorescent lighting is not great either, that we have in offices and certain buildings. And
mhm.
yeah,
My
you don't
twin.
realize how everything has an effect on us.
Yes, you're right. It's crazy. And I'm very sensitive. So, and my nerves, the doctor used to tell me, your nerves are on top of your skin. Any little thing could rattle you. That was like, I think you're right.
Well, when someone says like you have a lot of nerve, they're talking about your nervous system and how you react to things. And so getting adjusted, I really want to make this point because I think it's important because, you know, a lot of patients that come to me with vertigo and different things have tried other doctors, like you said, whether it's acupuncture or physical therapy. So the difference between physical therapy and chiropractic, very important, is that physical therapy addresses more like the muscles, maybe the ligaments, but it does not address the nervous system. And so we address the nervous system, chiropractors do, through the bones of the spine. And, the nervous system can affect a lot of things that we were talking about, and you're not even aware of it.
Wow. That's amazing. Maria says hello, my twin. She says, Dr. Ronette, you are the best, which you are.
Hi, Maria.
Everyone's watching. Hello, everyone. Please do like and share. I highly recommend her, really. And at the end of the show, we will talk. We will speak about where they can reach you and your website. And you can even say it now if you want, and we'll repeat it later.
Sure. So I'm in Bayside, like I said. I'm on Francis Lewis Boulevard, right across from the Blue Bay Diner. That's our landmark.
Mhm.
And my number is 718 718-224-6124. That's 718-224-6124. And I have a website that you can check out. It's serenity-holistic.com. And I also have a channel on YouTube where I post different videos to help people with different exercises. I think I have a video there that shows you all the things your chiropractor does not want you to do, like the way you should lift and the way you should sleep. And I think that gives a lot of good information.
And you are remarkable because you don't just do one thing, you do a whole bunch of things. And I remember Vanessa telling me, she's like, if there's something off with you, she'll help you naturally. That was like, she sounds very good. So I'm so happy that I met you because, like I said, everyone, she's amazing, highly, highly recommended. And she helps not only with chiropractic, but all the information you need to know. She's very caring, wonderful. I couldn't say, you'll see for yourself when you call her.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like my twin said, she was kind of skeptical too because of our bad experience. And I said, just go, trust me. Mm-hmm. And she's like, wow, I feel so much better. She got better faster because she went through it too, but mine was just a bit off. Like she can walk better without a stroller. I had to hold on to a stroller. Yes. So thank God I can say that. Thank God I can cross without holding a stroller. And there were times that, I see more good days than I see bad days. Thank God. Before it was reversed. All my days were like 99% bad and one good if I was lucky. So,
and what you were mentioning before, Linda, which I think is really important for people to realize, is sometimes our fear gets the better of us and we don't want to go and find out. And we're also frustrated because we've tried so many different things.
Yes.
But, if you're just going to walk in life like this and think that things are going to go away, or, people think like, oh, I'm lucky, I don't have cancer. Well, it's not a game of luck. It depends on how you're living your life. And are you living it as healthy as possible? Is your nervous system working as best as possible? What things are you doing to also help it or hurt it?
Exactly. That's true. People don't watch their diet and then they wonder why they have cholesterol. Like I try to eat very healthy. The only thing that I have to say every day, I do get a decaf from the Dunkin' Donuts. So maybe that's why my acidity is high. But I have to say I've cut the carbs. Like I have spinach pie, artichoke with peas. Like I was surprised that I was more acidic because that's one thing I always get though, the coffee. So probably that's what's messing me up.
It could be. Now, I know that they also have coffee that's less acidic and you can look into it, Yeah. But if you're only having one, I wouldn't say that that's so horrible.
It's the medium one. I do cheat.
That's okay. I had a patient today. She did a food diary and she has 3 coffees just in the morning. God. Yeah.
Wow. And I really want my mom to come to you because she suffers tremendously. Every night she has a migraine. And she has fallen many times. I know it's from her neck.
Yes.
And so we're trying to get her to come. They have like a vehicle where they can drive her. My sister's going to take care of that. But I told her, I said, just go. She suffers every night, the poor lady.
Yeah, that's migraines, headaches generally come from the neck as well. Wow. Sinus headaches, things like that.
And she's accepted it. She's like, it's in my genes. I go, it's not in your genes. I go fix it.
No, I don't like when people, either doctors will say, oh, your mom had high blood pressure. You're going to have high blood pressure. Oh, yes. You have this. Your mom had this. Your dad had this. You're going to have this. Just like you said, we're born with certain genes, but our lifestyle is what really pulls the trigger of what our health is going to be like.
Yep. You're absolutely right. It's true. She used to have a lot of grapefruit, but I heard it's not good for every kind of medicine. It messed her up. She was taking some kind of weird medicine and she stopped eating grapefruit forever.
Yeah, some medicines, they say you shouldn't have citrus fruit with it. I mean, that alone should tell you how, like, does that make sense? Like people take medicines and they're like, okay, now you have to stand for like half an hour or an hour after you take it. To me, that's crazy. Like, maybe that medicine is not really what your body needs and it's just managing it. People will come in and they'll tell me like, I have high blood pressure, but I've had it for years. And I'm on medication, but that's not solving it. That's just managing the condition.
Exactly. And how would you help them like lower their blood pressure?
So we would take a look at their spine, especially the first bone in their neck, and do the measurements on the x-rays and, work on correcting that, as well as what are they eating and recommending supplements for them to take as well. I would never tell someone not to take their medicine. They have to talk to their doctors about that. But once they start doing all the right things, they can talk to their doctors about starting to wean off.
Yes, definitely. There's so many medicine that helps one and it destroys so many other things, unfortunately.
Yes. I mean, listen, thank God that we have, modern medicine. If you fall down and you break a bone, don't come to my office. Please just go and get the bone fixed, right? Thank God we have doctors that do that, I just think that like surgeries, drugs should not be the first line of defense. It should be down the road once you've tried some other things. Again, depending on what the condition is and what you have going on.
Exactly. So are they other like so down the spine, can it be like stomach pains or that doesn't affect the spine? Can it
No,
affect the stomach?
it
Oh
absolutely
yeah, you
does.
said that. Right.
Yeah, there's certain parts of the spine, the lower part of your mid back and part of your low back that can affect the intestines as well as the stomach. And sometimes, we're eating all this good food, we're taking vitamins, but if the nerve to the stomach is not working properly, you're not going to fully absorb all the benefits of that food or vitamin.
Wow. And I noticed a red spot by my chest. I don't have heart problems, do I? I don't know.
Oh, on the scan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have heart problems, but that area, the bone is misaligned, and we'll work on aligning it so that there's no pressure on the nerve going to your heart.
Oh, wow.
Because think about like taking a rubber band and putting it around your finger. And if you leave it there, the finger is going to start to change color.
Oh, no.
Right? So when you have a pinched nerve in the body, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sciatica or things like that. You can have a pinched nerve anywhere in your spine. And wherever that nerve is going, it's not going to work as well as it should. Down the road, you'll have symptoms.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so good. We'll fix that too.
Yes.
Because I was looking at it, I was like, that's weird. I wonder what that means. I forgot to ask you while I was there.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I adjust patients too, I do like to adjust their whole spine, not just the area of complaint, because one thing can affect another thing. So I really want everything working at 100%. It's almost like a dimmer switch in a room. You've been in a room with a dimmer switch, like it could be on dim, your lights are on, but they're not on at 100%.
Okay.
And don't you want 100% power and life flowing through you?
Exactly. Exactly. I do too. We're going to take one more commercial break and we will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody. Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in with my special guest, Dr. Ronette. Yay!
Thank you.
Bobby, if can you show us her pictures of her office? She has a wonderful office right across the street from um, the restaurant, Blue Bay Diner. Look how beautiful.
That's people doing traction exercises.
Yes. Yes, and here we get adjusted.
Yep.
Okay, so also with the legs, like sometimes I feel Anne Roth, she's learning a lot.
Oh, good, good.
So I remember telling you, but for the other people that don't know, sometimes when I sleep, the way I sleep, I usually sleep to my side and I cross my leg over, and then during the day, I feel like the energy.
Yes. So when you sleep on your side, you should use a pillow between your knees, because when your knees are like this and one knee could fall over the other and it twists your pelvis.
Well,
So, a small pillow between the knees, and, you'll get used to it. At first, it might move around while you're sleeping. But yes, the pelvis and the low back are going to affect the legs. And that's sort of like a little bit of a pinched nerve.
Thank you for telling me, because I always do that. Then I wonder why my leg is off.
And when people sleep on their back, or if you're in bed just watching television on your back, you should put 2 big pillows or 3 big pillows up so that your knees are bent at 90 degrees. Because when your knees are bent up, then your back is flat against the bed and the low back is not arched. A lot of people put a pillow underneath their back. It might feel comfortable, but it might be arching their back too much.
Oh, wow. See, thank you for letting us know, because I was doing everything wrong.
Well, people sometimes do things on instinct because it feels good. Like the big question I always get is ice or heat. Well, if you first injure yourself, it's always ice in the first 24 to 48 hours. Oh. But, let's say tomorrow morning you wake up, you slept funny. I would use ice first, and then you can move on to the heat. The heat will bring in the nutrients and the blood to the area. But at first you want to calm everything down. With a sciatica, that's inflammation. It's hot. You want to put ice on it because you want things to cool down.
Like they used to tell me, put a little ball on your back and like roll it up and down. Is that good or no?
So it is good, depending on what area, and it helps to sort of provide acupressure to the muscle to work out knots.
Oh, wow. Okay. And with my daughter, and I'm trying to tell her not to do it, she's sleeping on the pillow, the second one. That was the second best for me. But she likes them somehow high. Now that she has a cold now, I think she should have her head elevated up, or should she be flat? I have no idea.
I mean, it depends. If she's getting a drip, it might be okay to elevate it now. But, again, when we elevate our heads with the pillows, that's not good for the curve of the neck.
Right. Okay, good. So that I know. And I don't do the wrong mistakes to the poor little one.
Yeah.
So, and her back, see, she has reactive airways. So she does get asthma when she's sick, when she coughs a lot.
Well, we've been adjusting her too. So you're going to notice a big difference with her immune system getting stronger, and she won't get those things. So, I'm not saying she's never going to get sick, but when she gets things, it'll be a lot milder. She'll get over it a lot quicker. So my kids are now 23 and 19, but when they were little, I hardly went to the pediatrician because they weren't sick, because I was adjusting them.
Well, that's excellent.
I go for checkups and things like that. And both of them were in daycare too. And, everybody's like, oh, daycare, everyone, the kids get so sick. But, she both her and my son had stronger immune systems because of getting adjusted with chiropractic.
Wow, that's excellent. So do you recommend once a week, or you do?
For the most part with children, yes. And it might even they might be able to go like every 2 weeks, depending, for maintenance, just to maintain their spines. The biggest growth of the spine actually takes place the first year of life. So the spine goes through a lot of changes, and, the child is going through a lot of things where they're learning to crawl and walk and stand and all that. So that's a very important time to get checked.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. She loves going there. So sometimes we have to talk her out of it. She'll go twice. And then she's like, I go, Adela, we just went next week now.
Right.
She loves your office.
No, kids love getting adjusted, and kids heal a lot quicker than adults. So we see changes really quickly. And I've worked with children with different skin things. Any kind of skin thing is usually indicative of something with the stomach. But again, they could have a misalignment in their lower part of their, mid back, or their upper part of their low back, that's affecting their stomach and their intestines, and they're not able to process whatever they're eating properly. And that's why it's coming out on the skin.
Oh, wow. Because she does have acid reflux.
Okay.
The doctor's
Yeah, that's more the upper part of the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thank God she has you at a young age, and she'll be fine.
Absolutely. It's one of the greatest gifts to give children, is to get adjusted, early on, and just keep it up as, they grow up.
Exactly. And for people that have back pains, which exercises do you recommend? Because I know a lot of people still will work out.
Yes. So it depends. I mean, for the most part, people need to be careful of like really arching their backs. That's not very good. But, I do have a couple people who don't have enough of an arch. So I have to tell them to do the reverse of what I would tell most people to do.
Okay.
Most people are really good exercises to lay either on the floor or the bed, bring their knees to their chest, first one side, hold it for 10 seconds, repeat it 9 more times, then the other side, then both knees together.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, that's great. So is there any other, because there's some people that tell me, okay, well, I can barely like move forward. What should I do? I'm like, I don't know. Like if they have a hard time with their lower back pains and they have a hard time like getting up, I say get adjusted, but some people want to try it their own way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of exercises, but it depends again on the individual, and
Right.
how much they could do. I mean, if we have an elderly person, we have to kind of be careful. They're not going to be able to get on the floor to do the exercises. So that's why I say a bed is okay. They can also do stuff in a chair where, they could just bend forward and hold it for a few seconds and then lift up. But I think with low back conditions, what's very important that people don't realize is your stomach. The core has to be really strong. And so, in my office, we have wobble discs that people sit on, and they do different positions, and that helps to strengthen the core. It helps with opening up the pelvis and helps with, the discs of the low back.
Wow. And there was this lady when she had vertigo, and she told me this crazy thing. She's like, if you want to get better, you have to turn your head fast, right and left. I go, are you crazy? I told her, I'm going to get even worse. Imagine spinning your head like that. No way.
Exactly.
And she's like, that helped me. I said, well, I don't think so. I told her.
Yeah.
I used to pull my eyes to cross. I used to just pull my eye to see if a car is coming. Sometimes I didn't even care. I would just, if I don't hear anything, I would run across the street. And my sister's like, you're going to get killed. And I'm like, I'm scared to look. I go, because what if I look, I'm in the middle of an open space and then everything starts spinning. Then what?
Right.
So, but thank God you've helped me tremendously. And I can't say enough of how much you did so much for me, really a lot. So it's
been my pleasure. This is, why I went into this, many, many years ago, because I wanted to help people. But me too, I'm afraid of getting blood drawn or taking someone else's blood. So there was no way I was going to be a regular medical doctor. There's no way.
I don't blame you. That's the one reason why I don't go to the doctor, because first of all, I'm nervous as it is. Then they come with the blood pressure. And I told Vanessa, I go, does she take my blood pressure? And when she said no, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because you're nervous. Of course it's going to go up. And they're like, oh my God. They just make me nervous all around. So once you said no blood pressure, I said, okay, good. Now I'm definitely going. It's good when you're relaxed. I told them, can you do it after, you check me and everything? So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Did you always want to be a chiropractor or?
So I knew I wanted to help people. I didn't know what kind of doctor I wanted to be, but like I said, I was limited because I didn't want to have to deal with blood or anything like that. My parents kind of forced it upon me to either be a dentist or a chiropractor. Wow. And I'm glad I chose chiropractic.
Yes.
When I went to chiropractic school, I really thought I was going to help people with neck pain, back pain. And that's what most people this day and age still think of chiropractors. They don't think about, if I have even sinus problems. They don't think of a chiropractor. You know, asthma, allergies, infertility. I mean, there's so many things that can be helped. And again, I'm not curing those things and I'm not treating those things. I am just removing the interference so that your body could do what it's meant to do.
Yes. And thank you so much. Can you believe an hour flew by? Because at the end of this live, we're going to show a video of you adjusting someone. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank
and
you for having me.
Please do say, tell us again where they can find you.
So I'm in Bayside. It's called Serenity Holistic Healthcare. And my number is 718-224-6124. And our website is serenity-holistic.com.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. She's God sent, a real angel, earth angel that really helped me a lot. And thank you so much for everything. I will see you again very soon.
Yes. Thank you, Linda.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Give me the soda. Come to the edge. Put that all in your back. Oh. This is like the Tom Cruise on the couch moment. Down, down. In chiropractic. Oh. Oh. And now for the next.
Oh.
Power's on.